You wake up before the alarm, and your hand reaches for the phone before your mind wakes up with it. Notifications blink, messages pile up, news headlines scream softly, and you start the day already reacting to a world you did not choose. You move from bed to bathroom to breakfast to work, like a train on tracks that you did not build and never questioned. Your mouth says good morning, your feet follow the routine, but your heart stays quiet like a radio with the volume turned almost off. You finish tasks, you answer emails, you check boxes, yet something important feels missing and you cannot point to where it went. Maybe life still looks fine from the outside, with bills paid and calendars full, but inside you carry a small, tired emptiness. You tell yourself it is normal, that everyone is busy, that energy will return. But the same day repeats like a copied file. Hours blur together, and the week becomes a loop. While your goals sit patiently in a folder named Someday that you never open, you want to learn English well, to speak clearly, to think better, to travel freely. But your attention runs away every time you try. You watch one more video, you save another method, you wait for motivation. Yet motivation arrives late and leaves early without warning. Let me say this with care and honesty, because you deserve truth before techniques, and peace before progress, or any perfect plan. This is not just another English lesson with tips, hacks, and shiny promises. This is an invitation to change the way you live. If you change how you live a morning, you change how you learn a language. Because attention decides everything you keep or lose. Mindful learning means you notice your breath, your posture, your thoughts, and you choose your next small action with full awareness. It means you stop running on autopilot and you begin piloting yourself, even for 1 minute, especially when the old loop calls. Today I will guide you to feel again, to listen to yourself, and to speak simple English with intention, rhythm, and calm focus. We will slow down the noise, we will break tiny chains, and we will turn one quiet minute into a daily engine for growth. You do not need perfect grammar to start. You need a present mind, a kind voice to yourself, and a clear next step. Breathe in once slowly, breathe out fully. Place your phone face down and give this moment your full attention without judgment. Say this sentence softly after me, because speaking wakes the brain and tells your body that you are here and you are ready. I am not a machine, I am a person who chooses, and I learn English with awareness, patience, and steady action today. Let this be the first minute you truly own, a small beginning that carries power because you finally decided to be present. From this minute, we will build a path you can walk daily, with simple steps, gentle discipline, and a mind that stays awake. You wake up each morning, and you feel like you are already behind before the day begins. Only, you promise yourself that today will be different, that you will focus. But hours slip through your fingers like water. You open your phone to check one message, and suddenly 30 minutes are gone, leaving you tired without doing anything real. You sit at your desk with a plan, but a small voice whispers that you can always start tomorrow, and you believe it again. You repeat this cycle until weeks disappear, and your dream of speaking English fluently waits quietly on a dusty shelf. You tell yourself you are busy, but deep down, you know you are only distracted, avoiding the work that truly matters. The truth is not that you lack intelligence. It is that you live on autopilot, repeating patterns you never question. You scroll through social media for hours, watching others achieve goals, while your own dreams stand frozen in the same place. You feel a sharp sting of regret, comparing your effort with their success, and it burns quietly inside your chest. You want to change, but the comfort of routine pulls you back, whispering that safety is better than growth. Your mind says you will study later, but later never arrives. And each delay builds a wall higher than the last one. You buy books, you download apps, you watch endless videos, but you rarely take the one step that matters. Practice now. You remember nights when you felt determined, writing goals on paper, but the paper became another forgotten list. You avoid speaking English because mistakes embarrass you, yet silence embarrasses you more, leaving you trapped between fear and desire. You tell people that you are learning, but in truth, you are only preparing to prepare, never truly beginning. You hope that one day motivation will strike like lightning, but motivation is not coming, and deep down you know it. You feel heavy carrying this secret failure, while smiling outside, pretending you are making progress when you are stuck. Each day on autopilot steals your future, but you do not notice until months pass, and nothing has changed. The pain grows when you realize life does not pause for you. Time moves, and your dreams stay exactly where they were. This is the problem many never admit, but it is the silent trap that holds you still while the world moves on. You believe you are only killing time when you delay, but the truth is clear. Time is quietly killing you. Every tomorrow you wait for never arrives, because tomorrow always hides behind another excuse you create today. If you cannot start now, you will probably never start, and that truth should shake you awake. You think waiting makes it easier, but waiting makes it heavier, because each delay adds one more chain around your dream. You hope for motivation to come, but motivation is lazy. It never visits those who wait. It only meets those who act. The habit of postponing is not small. It is poison, and every sip steals energy from the life you could live. When you scroll for hours, you are not relaxing. You are giving away the only currency you cannot earn back: time. Look closely at your days, and you will see they are copies, one pasted on top of another, with nothing new inside. This cycle is not harmless, it is dangerous, because it teaches your brain that drifting is normal and control is impossible. But here is the thing: you are not a machine, you are a human, and you have the power to choose differently now. Every single moment is a chance to reset, but only if you decide that enough is enough and stop running on autopilot. The truth is sharp, but it is also freeing, because once you see the trap, you can step out of it. Learning English is not only about words and grammar, it is about waking up, paying attention, and practicing with presence. Your life is one, not a rehearsal, and if you waste it waiting, no second chance will come to rescue you. Do not lie to yourself again. Do not whisper tomorrow again. Whisper today, whisper now, and then move your body into action. The moment you stop lying to yourself, you become stronger, because honesty brings energy that no excuse can give you. Time is not patient with you. It is moving whether you move or not. So the only choice is to move now. Let this sentence burn into your memory. If you cannot start today, you will not start tomorrow, and you know it. This is your wake-up call, not a soft suggestion, but a direct truth you must face before it is too late. The power to change is already in your hands, but you must decide to use it. Here, today, in this moment. Lesson 1, awareness is the first key. Let me tell you something. You cannot change what you do not notice. This sentence may sound simple, but it is the secret behind all lasting transformation. Nothing changes until it is seen. Most people fail not because they are lazy, but because they repeat patterns they never take time to notice. You wake up each day, reach for your phone, check notifications, scroll, eat, and call it a normal routine. But hidden in that routine is the reason your dream of speaking English never grows into something alive. Awareness is the light that exposes the shadows. Without awareness, excuses hide comfortably, but with awareness, they lose power. Imagine a student who believes he has no free time, yet his phone shows 3 hours of scrolling daily. He insists that life is too busy, but reality shows his attention was stolen silently by distractions he never tracked. Now imagine another student who writes a single line daily. Where did my time go today? At first, it feels uncomfortable, almost painful, because the truth removes the safety of excuses. But slowly, the truth sets him free, because once he sees the pattern, he can choose differently. This is the heart of awareness, not shame, but clarity. And clarity is the doorway to every breakthrough. Without awareness, you drift unconsciously. With awareness, you take back the wheel and direct where your life should go. Think of a driver asleep at the wheel. The car moves, but danger grows, and only awareness can save him. Your life works the same. If you stay unconscious, your dreams crash. If you wake up, you regain control. Awareness in English learning means noticing exactly where time leaks, where fear hides, where you avoid practice. It also means noticing small victories, one sentence spoken, one page read, one idea understood clearly. Because without noticing progress, you convince yourself nothing changes, when in fact small changes are already happening. Solution: carry a pocket notebook every night. Write a short note. What did I do with my time today? Write it honestly. No filters, no excuses, just record reality. Because reality is the first teacher. Do not fear the result, even if it shows wasted hours, because truth is the foundation of all progress. Awareness does not mean perfection, it means attention. And attention is the seed of growth in every area of life. Say to yourself, I will not hide from my habits. I will watch them, and watching will make me stronger. The more you notice, the less control distractions have over you, because they cannot hide in the light anymore. Awareness teaches you that you are not powerless. You are simply asleep. And awakening is already within your reach. You do not need to fix everything at once. You only need to notice the next moment clearly. When you sit down to study, notice if your hand reaches for the phone. Pause, breathe, return to the book. That pause is awareness in action. It looks small, but it saves hours and slowly reshapes your future. Remember, you cannot command what you cannot see. Notice first, then guide. This is not just about learning English. It is about living fully, awake to each choice, awake to each breath. Awareness makes you present, presence makes you powerful, and power leads to growth you once thought impossible. Begin today. Write one honest line. Where did my time go? That line might change everything you do tomorrow. And tomorrow, you begin to live awake, not on autopilot, because you finally learned the first key: awareness. Lesson 2. Small steps beat big promises. Big promises excite the mind, but small steps build the future. You know this truth deep inside. Yet many times you forget and fall into the same trap again. You say, this weekend I will study 5 hours of English. But when the weekend arrives, nothing happens. The idea was big, the promise was heavy, but reality refused to bend under such weight. Big promises feel heroic in the moment, but they are too large to fit inside the rhythm of daily life. And when you fail to keep them, guilt grows stronger, and you start believing you are not capable at all. This is why small steps matter more than giant dreams, because small steps are light and repeatable. Think of a child learning to walk. He does not begin by running a marathon. He begins with one shaky step. That step looks weak, but inside it is powerful, because it is the beginning of strength, balance, and courage. Now compare with an adult who suddenly decides, tomorrow I will run 20 kilometers without training. He collapses in pain, shamed by failure, and he may never try again. Because the promise was impossible. This same cycle happens in language learning. You promise 10 new chapters, 20 new words, but you quit quickly. The mountain was too big, the promise too heavy, and your energy collapsed under unrealistic weight. Solution: replace big promises with small steps. Do not aim for 5 hours. Aim for 10 focused minutes today. Set a timer. Speak one English sentence aloud. Stop when the timer rings. That is enough for today. Tomorrow, do it again and again. The small step becomes a rhythm, and rhythm builds momentum. This is the real secret. Momentum carries you forward when motivation disappears, because action creates energy. Imagine water dripping on stone. One drop seems weak, but many drops over time carve a deep channel. That is what small steps do. They carve new patterns in your brain until learning becomes part of who you are. Think also of planting seeds. A seed looks tiny, almost invisible. Yet in time, it grows into a tall tree. Each sentence you speak today is a seed, and many sentences together become fluency, confidence, and freedom. The miracle is this: small steps multiply. They grow naturally because repetition feeds progress without crushing your spirit. Big promises often end in silence. Small steps create steady sound, like footsteps leading to your dream. So stop telling yourself lies about giant leaps tomorrow. Begin with the single step you can take today. Do not despise the small action. The small action is the only action that can be repeated daily. And what is repeated daily is what builds skill, builds confidence, builds success. You do not need heroic effort. You need quiet consistency. And quiet consistency makes you unstoppable. Remember this truth: mountains are climbed not by one giant jump, but by many small steps placed carefully. So today, whisper this to yourself: I will not wait for 5 hours. I will give 10 minutes with focus. Detect. Because in the end, it is not the promise that matters. It is the step you take. And one step, repeated again and again, will take you farther than any broken promise ever could. Lesson 3. Comfort zone is your prison. Your comfort zone is not safety. It is a prison with soft walls. You believe you are protecting yourself when you avoid risk. But in truth, you are only locking yourself inside. Comfort feels good in the short term, but in the long term, it steals your growth, your courage, and your dreams. Think about how often you stay silent instead of speaking English because you fear mistakes or judgment. In that moment, silence feels safe. No embarrassment, no laughter, no risk. But silence is also no progress. Your comfort zone whispers, "Stay here. It is warm. It is easy." But in reality, it is deadly for growth. Imagine a man who studies swimming only by reading books and watching videos. He never enters the water. He feels safe because he is dry. He feels smart because he knows the theory. But he still cannot swim. One day, he is pushed into the pool, and suddenly his safety is gone, and fear drowns him. That is what comfort does. It fools you with safety until life demands skill you never built. Now imagine another man who jumps into the pool even though he feels fear. Even though he swallows water, he struggles, he coughs, he looks clumsy, but slowly his arms learn, his legs kick, and he survives. Soon he does not just survive. He swims. He grows stronger with every mistake, every failure, every breath. This is the truth about learning English. You cannot hide forever in silence and expect fluency to appear. You must enter the water. You must speak out loud, risk mistakes, and embrace the heat of discomfort. Mistakes are not enemies. They are teachers in disguise. Each one carries a lesson you can never learn from theory. Solution: speak one sentence in English every day. No matter how broken, no matter how awkward it sounds. Say it out loud, to yourself, to a mirror, to a friend, to anyone, but speak it. Each word spoken breaks one bar of your prison. Each sentence spoken brings you closer to freedom. The prison of comfort has no real lock. The door is open. You are free the moment you walk out. But many stay inside, decorating the walls, convincing themselves it is safe, when in truth it is suffocating. Do not stay there. Do not waste your years inside a cell that exists only in your mind. Step out. Risk mistakes. Risk embarrassment. Risk the unknown. That risk is the exact place growth lives. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the choice to act even while fear stands beside you. And each time you act with courage, fear grows weaker, while your confidence grows stronger. One day you look back and realize the prison was never real. It was built only by your own excuses. Break those excuses now. Choose the harder path today. Choose the uncomfortable practice today. Because one day of discomfort builds a lifetime of strength. But one lifetime of comfort builds a grave of regret. Say it clearly. My comfort zone is my prison, and I am walking out today. Then take the step. Speak the word. Begin the conversation. That is how you escape. That is how you grow. Lesson 4. Action creates motivation. Not the other way. You do not wait for motivation to act. You act, and then motivation arrives. Most people get this backwards. They sit and wait for energy, wait for the perfect mood, wait for the fire inside. But motivation is lazy. It never comes first. It always comes after action, like a shadow that follows your steps. Think of pushing a heavy wheel. At the start, it feels impossible. Your hands shake, your back aches. But once the wheel begins to roll, something changes. The weight feels lighter, your body warms, movement becomes easier. That is how action works. The first push is hard, but the second push is easier, and the third feels natural. Now imagine someone waiting for motivation before touching the wheel. He waits 1 day, 1 week, year. The wheel never moves. His dream never moves. His life remains stuck because he misunderstood the order of growth. It is the same with English. You wait for the perfect time, perfect method, perfect energy before you begin. But the truth is clear. You must begin with imperfect action, and then energy will rise inside you. Action creates the spark that lights motivation. Without action, you remain cold, waiting forever for a fire that never comes. Imagine 2 students. One spends weeks searching for the best textbook. The other speaks 1 sentence today. Who grows faster? The second student. Because action produces momentum, and momentum is stronger than waiting. Momentum is invisible energy. Once it starts, it carries you forward even when your mind feels tired. That is why small daily actions matter so much. They keep the wheel rolling even on days you feel weak. Solution: do not ask. Am I motivated? Ask. What action can I take right now, even if small? Then take it. Say 1 sentence, always. Read 1 page, listen for 5 minutes. Action first, feeling later. This is the formula. Act, motivation, more action, more motivation. The cycle begins only when you act. Do not trust your feelings to guide you, because feelings change like the wind. Trust your actions. They build stability. Every time you wait for motivation, you train your brain to delay. Every time you act first, you train it to grow. Motivation is not magic. It is the natural child of movement. When you move, it is born. One day, you will notice something amazing. The habit of action makes motivation almost permanent. You no longer ask for energy. Energy appears the moment you begin, because your body and mind expect it. So stop sitting, waiting for lightning to strike. Begin now. and the lightning will follow your movement. This is the truth. Motivation does not start the journey. Action does. And once you start, everything changes. Say it with me. I will not wait to feel ready. I will act, and readiness will come after. Then prove it. Take the smallest step now. Open your mouth. Speak one English word. That is how you win. That is how motivation is created. That is how your new life begins. There was once a young man named Min who lived each day exactly like the one before. He woke up, checked his phone, scrolled endlessly, went to class, returned home, scrolled again, and called it a day. Deep inside, he dreamed of speaking English fluently, of traveling freely, of working in a global company. But every time he thought of practicing, fear whispered, "Not today, maybe tomorrow." And tomorrow never arrived. He bought books, downloaded apps, watched countless videos, but he rarely opened his mouth to speak a single word. When friends asked, "How is your English?" he smiled and said, "I'm learning." Though he knew he was stuck, the months passed. His dream stayed frozen, like a seed locked in the soil without water or light. One day, he sat in a cafe and overheard two tourists struggling to ask for directions in broken words. A boy younger than him stepped forward, spoke English simply, confidently, and helped them with ease. Min watched, heart heavy. He realized the boy was not smarter, only braver, willing to speak despite mistakes. In that moment, a truth struck him. Silence was his prison, and he had locked the door himself. He remembered a sentence he once read: "If you can't start now, you probably won't start ever." It burned inside him, louder than excuses, louder than fear, louder than the comfort he once protected. That evening, he whispered one English sentence alone in his room, his voice shaking, his heart racing. It was not perfect, but it was real. For the first time, he had broken the wall of silence. The next day, he spoke another sentence. The day after, 2 sentences. Slowly, his fear began to shrink. Mistakes came, but they taught him. Laughter came, but it no longer broke him. His voice grew stronger. Months later, Min joined a speaking club. The boy who once hid now stood to share his thoughts. He still made errors, but confidence flowed, and his dream, once frozen, finally began to breathe and grow. Looking back, he realized the hardest part was not grammar, not vocabulary, but the courage to begin. That one shaky sentence had changed everything. It was the spark that lit a fire he carried forward. And from that fire, his new path opened, leading him closer to the life he once thought impossible. You have one life. Do not waste it. This is the truth you cannot ignore anymore. Time moves forward whether you act or not. Each day on autopilot steals your future. Each distraction steals your dream. Each excuse builds another wall around you. But here is the hope. You can choose differently. You can take back control. One mindful step at a time. Learning English is not just about grammar or vocabulary. It is about choosing awareness, courage, and steady daily action. When you practice mindfully, you are not only improving your English, you are also reclaiming your power to live awake. Remember the lessons. Awareness shows the truth. Small steps build momentum. Comfort zone is a prison. Action creates motivation. These are not theories. They are doors, but you must open them. No one else can walk through them for you. Say to yourself now, I will not wait. I will not hide. I will begin today. Because today is the only real day you will ever have. Tomorrow is only a shadow. Speak one sentence. Write one note. Take one step. That is how change begins. And once it begins, it grows. Action leads to more action. Courage leads to more courage. Progress leads to confidence. Soon, What once felt impossible becomes your new normal. Your voice grows clear. Your life grows awake. You have one life. Do not waste it in silence. Do not waste it in delay. Take action today, not tomorrow. Speak today, not tomorrow. Live today, not tomorrow. If this story touched you, if it woke something inside you, then stay with me. Subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone you care about. Let's grow together, step by step. We are not machines. We are people who choose. And today, we choose awareness, courage, and mindful learning. Your new life does not start later. It starts now.